Cowboys this year. The question is, how much longer will he be? He's 1 year left on his contract. He has a cap number of $59.5 million. The Cowboys are going to have to get down somehow. It's possible they extend his contract, but it doesn't sound like that is imminent. Cowboys can save about $18 million in cap space with a simple salary to signing bonus conversion that does not require Dak's approval. I would think that's the minimum that happens this offseason, and they'll continue to talk about a potential extension, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
Look, if you
wasn't the last time.
If you're interested in the top of the NFC or in anything really in football right now, this is a front burner story. Dak Prescott's contract situation is going to impact a lot of things. Jerry Jones at the combine.
Damn broke-ass media.
Will get this thing done. But listen.
He had one of the best years, as you all know. But the thing that I would point out is that we think that a lot to do with the fact that Mike McCarthy is right there involved in the Dak's play more directly and more involved in the offense, and think that there's a lot more to come. So we'll see. We're going to be working on his contract as we get into the future. What we do there or don't do, I couldn't say at this time, but the main thing is that he's going to be our quarterback.
Well,
a couple things.
Hawk joins us. We have technical. Andrew Hawkins, good to see you, Hawk. We'll get right to you. What should we take from that?
Well, number one, he's patting himself in the back because he's like, well, the coach did a good job with the quarterback, too. No duh. We understand that the coach impacts the quarterback's play. Dak's had really good seasons before. Certainly last year was his best, but he's had seasons that were very similar in regards to that. The Cowboys, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, have two options. One, they could have moved on from Dak Prescott in totality. That probably would have happened at the end of the season. Or two, figure out his contract to extend him. They're not going to sit here. You just said they can convert 18 of that $59 million to
convert more than 18. They can
so does that drop his cap number to 40?
No, it would drop it. Well, it would drop it by 18. So what does that mean?
41 or something
41.
like that?
37-ish. Yeah, 41 or so.
Y'all don't know how to do math.
The highest number in the league this year was Patrick Holmes at $37 million. The Chiefs managed to overcome that.
They did, and he's Patrick Mahomes. And, you know, again, the number right now is $59.5 million. And
Pat Mahomes is like 57.
That this could be, we could be seeing the last season for Dak Prescott in Dallas, yeah?
The thing people have to understand is that Dak Prescott cleaned the Cowboys' clock in the last negotiation. He has nothing but leverage. They are not allowed to franchise him.
Right.
They have the monster. Even if they did the conversion to drop the cap number down,
go.
next year's cap number is astronomical, over $50 million. If he's not even on the team.
Yep.
So he's in great. He
36 plus 18.
Move unless they do the deal he wants.
I mean, hear from Hawk here this morning again. We had some technical issues, so it's the first time we're able to have him jump in. Always good to see you. What is your take on Jerry and Dak and the Cowboys and all of it?
Jerry has no leverage. I think this is a negotiation play, but the problem is that we've talked about before is that he's playing owner and general manager. Dak Prescott has all the cards. He understands that. He knows that. And actually, I don't think Jerry Jones is doing himself any favors by insinuating that the reason for Dak's success is solely because of the head coach. And it does play into the larger issue with the Dallas Cowboys. And when they get in these scenarios, it's why Jerry Jones has not won of recent years.
What do you think?
You
of this,
think?
Mike T?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, it cracks me up. We're going to give credit to the coach who a couple of weeks ago we weren't going to extend, right?
Right.
That juxtaposition to me is fascinating. But fundamentally, Dak
This is what you get with the Cowboys.
He's going to be 31. He has a lot of great years. And if we're one of the Cowboys guys, what I'm saying to each and one of you, if not Dak, then who? Get the deal done. Pay the bill. It's
You
too
can't live like that.
Really? Because the alternative.
What's
is
the alternative?
I can give you about 2/3 of the NFL that would give their left leg to have Dak
Left
Prescott.
nut. Damn it. The left nut.
Not at 60.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a second.
They're not going to get him.
Here's my thing. If Dak Prescott doesn't play for the Cowboys next year, he'd be the first quarterback in the history of that organization to play for someone else. Tony Romo didn't. Troy Aikman didn't. Danny White didn't. Don Meredith didn't. Roger Staubach didn't. So are the Cowboys really going to let him walk? Are they really going to roll that dice?
Right, and again, to me, what's going to force that decision, guys, like who you're going to go with? Trey Lance? Or are you going to bring in Zach Wilson, try to resurrect him? Like,
Zach Wilson.
Okay, the Cowboys don't have a culture problem, right? You don't win 12 games in a row, 3 years in a row, and have a culture problem, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair?
Correct.
There's a lot of different ways you can slice that apart. Yeah.
They have a championship. So
I disagree with that. Some of the things they're saying on social media about Dak Prescott doesn't happen in other places.
There's also a wide delta between Dak Prescott and let's go get Zach Wilson. I mean, there's in between those two things.
The way they look at it, the way the Cowboys look at it, Tony Romo was undrafted. Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick.
Right.
They think they can find these guys. That's not, and that's their last decade and a half.
They're going to just remain good.
But their championships were all won with Roger Staubach, who won the Heisman, and Troy Aikman, who was the first pick in the draft.
They would point out that having Dak Prescott hasn't helped them clear that bar either.
All right, everyone stay where you are. We are mostly...
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, of course, and as always, well, Joe Boo is actually at the Red Brick House. But as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's had a great Monday. I'm sitting around and I'm waiting. I'm waiting to have something, anything happen with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think I figured it out. You know, Jerry Jones is 82 years old? You know, sometimes when you get a little bit older, you know, I'm at 58. Sometimes I get confused at 58. I just do. Sometimes I misspeak, and sometimes I'll say, thinking I'm saying one thing, but something else actually comes out, and I don't realize what I actually said, and then till somebody says, hey, you said, and I'm like, I didn't say that, and then I see it on tape, and it's like, oh, I said that? So, before we get into it, Affectionate Lacrosse draft a quarterback in the first round. Okay, you know, we'll get to that. Miss Hot Sauce Lola, what's up? We got Rhonda, Lovely Sparks. We got to make sure we let her know how much we care about her. What's up, Rhonda? There's Lady Libra, Lady Libra in the house. What's up, lady? We got Joanne. What's up, JoJo? Ann Gonzalez, Vinny's in the house. Marcus Blackman's in the house. Sugar Daddy Williams. I left you. Yes, no, but he's guarding the house. He's keeping all the evil spirits away, man. He likes it there. Besides, he's like, you know, it's kind of cool. Got the whole place. So, Thomas Garrett, what's up? You know, Thomas, I was going through old messages, and I actually, because I don't remember ever checking, I had like 37 of them, and one of them was from you. It's like, Mark, give me a call. And I love how you say Mark. It reminds me of Sidney Poitier whenever I hear you speak, Mark, because it's so proper. Derek Young in the house, what's going on? Timothy Jenkins. Brian Soka. Brian, I need you, bro. Brian. See, you are the only one who's ever been able to capture the essence of Joe Boo. And see, now we can actually do something with that because we have a sublimation printer. So that great artwork that you do of Joe Boo, once we learn how to use the machine, we'll be able to pop that stuff out. So I definitely need to get in touch with you, bro, because you are the man. Paul in the house. What's up, Paul? And I think I got all the lovely ladies in place and everybody. It's in your Ray. What's up, Ray? You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me Joe. Oh, shit. Derek.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Derek, I don't want to hear Derek. Derek, even though I got problems with my laptop and stuff, it's acting funny and things, I don't want to hear about Zach Wilson would be awesome. And for Affectionate Lacrosse, okay, that's a new one. Draft a quarterback in the first round. Okay, let me ask you something, Ray. Ray, we are sitting at number 24. Okay, 24. What quarterbacks do you think are going to be left at 24? They're looking at about 5 to go in the top 15. If you really want to get one of the top prospects, and there's no guarantee that any of, because you could go back to 2021 and they had Trevor Lawrence was number 1. Zach Wilson, who they said, why don't we go get him? He was number 2. Trey Lance was number 3. And thus far, they ain't exactly done a whole hell of a lot for their teams 3 years in. In fact, we got one of those guys. We got a first-round draft. I need to start saying that. We got ourselves one of those first-round drafted quarterbacks on the roster, bro. We got you covered, okay? Now, shout out to Mr. Dak Prescott, Jeffrey Hubbard in the house, Joe DeMasi, Jeff Lee. What's going on? Dak Prescott. We found out that he's not only the daddy of the NFC East. He now has his daughter that was born on Thursday. And they kept it quiet. They kept it quiet because they didn't want to wake the baby. See, I don't know if you've ever, how many of y'all are fathers there, but, you know, when you have the baby, you got to be quiet. You don't want to wake the baby. You don't want to wake the baby. Because then it'll be like, okay, let's listen to my quarterback. I know that everybody wants to get rid of. Here we go. Dak Prescott in his own words.
Yeah, I feel different. I guess especially, you know, you wake up in the morning, you see that baby, you understand the responsibilities and everything that I've always wanted for myself, but to want that for somebody else even more, it's special. And baby's doing great, mama's doing great, everybody's healthy and at home, and we're blessed.
How many diapers have you changed so far?
Just a handful. Changed the first one, and then about 2 or 3 after that, and then, you know, try to pass that
I'm done.
I feel different. I guess especially, you know, you wake up in the morning,
Shout
you
out
see
to
that baby,
Walker Wade.
Responsibilities and everything that I've always wanted for myself, but to want that for somebody else even more, it's special. And baby's doing great, mama's doing great, everybody's healthy and at home, and we're blessed.
How many diapers have you changed so far?
Just a handful. Changed the first one, and then about 2 or 3 after that, and then, you know, I try to pass that job along.
You know, I'm going to tell you, you know, there's nothing better than having a baby and watching your kids grow up. You know, I raised my 2 kids and jointly my stepdaughter as well from when she was 10 years old. And I'm going to say it is an incredible feeling to be part of your kid's life. And that diaper changing, you know, when you especially the first baby, you have that first baby, everything is like, oh my God, we got to be careful with the baby. Oh, we got to get careful. You know, by the second one, it's like, oops, I dropped her. She'll be okay. But, you know, those first couple of diapers are kind of cool. It's like, oh, look at the baby. Like, oh, God, she pooped. But by the time you get a couple of weeks in, and then you kind of, oh, shit. It's kind of like when the Cowboys lose. I'm like, oh, shit. This shit stink. Especially, I'm going to tell you, the worst one is when the kid gets the green poop. When you get that green poop, you are in trouble. Dak, you don't know what you be like, baby, I got to go to the facility. I got to go do some more working out. Yeah, he might be in there more working out just to get away from the baby diapers. But be that as it may, congratulations to Dak Prescott and his girlfriend and MJ. And I'm curious if that's MJ also for Michael Jordan. Just putting it out there because he is getting paid by Jordan Brand. Anyway, Brian Cruz was cracking up. Green poop means eating plenty of veggies. Yeah, but them veggies, man. But you, Rhonda, you know, woo, the green veggie poop. Oh, damn. Oh, make sure you don't feed the baby asparagus either, because the beast is like acid. It's like pepper spray in your face with, okay, anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to make anything bigger than before.
Okay, now,
I don't know.
Second part of this is Jerry Jones thinks he's got leverage on Dak Prescott. Says, we going to work on getting this contract together with Dak and things. But if it don't work, then we got other avenues. And you do have other avenues, but I think what's going to happen is that Dak is being set up as the blame guy. That, you know, Dak comes through and says, you know what, Jerry, I mean, this is what I would envision the conversation going here. And I think, you know, as much as people say, Dak just sucks. Dak can't do it. You know what's kind of crazy how life works out? We wanted to move up to get Paxton Lynch when we had Dak Prescott. I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to ask for a friend. We didn't work out the trade compensation for that. We didn't want to give as much as, I think Denver, was it Denver that got him? We missed it by, I think, a second-round pick versus a third round. We offered a third and they wanted a second, or whatever, something like that, to move up. Had we gotten him instead of Dak Prescott, where do you think we would be right now? Because for the guys on Get Up talking about, well, Jimmy, they figure, well, they found Dak in the fourth round, and they found Tony Romo. Let's be clear here. Sean Payton found Tony Romo, and Tony Romo got to sit on the bench for 3 or 4 years to learn the game under one of the best offensive minds out there. Dak Prescott, they were really thinking about Carson Wentz. Carson went number 2. They got Zeke. They wanted to move up for Paxton Lynch. When that didn't work out, they wanted Connor Cook. That didn't work out. Basically, it was like, well, we need to get somebody. We need to get an arm. We need a camp body. And Dak was the one that was left. They did not draft Dak Prescott and look and say, you know what, we got a guy here we're going to end up paying $60 million a year. Yes, trust me. They never thought he was ever going to be anything. When they got him that first year in OTAs, he got 1 pass in practice each practice. That's it. Nobody thought he had any chance of staying power. Okay? Now, you can go ahead and say, just go draft a quarterback. Well, you look at what people are going to have to spend to try and get up and get one of those top 3s. Just look at the compensation of picks that we don't have. We don't have any. And if you got the Joneses that are literally the ones that picked Quincy Carter, the ones that brought all these other guys in here from the Matt Castles and the Brandon Wheatons. Remember we had Brandon Wheaton in here? That was a guy, that Brandon Wheaton throws one of the prettiest passes you'll ever see. That's what Jerry Jones said. Does Johnny Manziel ring a bell? So when y'all say blow it up and let's start over, you got to understand that these guys that believe in our own guys are the guys that are going to have to go ahead and say, let's get this shit redone. I don't know that they can do it. They make some good choices. And Micah was great, but then you got to look at Van Der Esch. You got to look at Jabril Cox. You got to look at Boss Man Fat. You got to look at Jalen Smith. You look at all these players that they went through. Yes, we got the successes of Micah Parsons. But do you think they honestly thought or anybody thought Micah Parsons was going to be the guy that he is right now? I don't think so. Did people, when we drafted Diggs, say, oh, my God, man, this guy right here is going to end up, being have more interceptions in a season than anybody this century? I don't think that that's what people were saying. I really don't think that's what people were saying. Now, we did end up getting one guy that was kind of high on us getting CeeDee Lamb. There was one guy that was, and let me bring you back on that one.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire the motherfucker. Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot! What an idiot! Dallas has Amari Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver. Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson. He's ass. He's stupid. I fire his ass. I fire his ass. I mean, Howie's got to be stupid. What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him.
Oh, this shit never gets old. So one person was like, oh, my God, I can't. Okay, so somebody knew that CeeDee Lamb was going to be great. Okay, somebody knew that one. All right, so we had to get that. Lovely Linda in the house. What's up, Linda? How are you doing? Shout out to Linda. Okay, so Dak Prescott on his contract, and now that he's gotten the new goatee, okay, he's got rid of the beard. He got rid of the beard now, and he looks like he's ready for Breaking Bad. Did anybody else think that when I saw him like that? He looked like he was ready for an episode of Breaking Bad. And I hope that he breaks bad with Jerry Jones. Let's listen to him about the contract. If he has any fear.
What does all in mean? When Jerry says all in, what does that mean to you?
Oh, this is all in.
When he says all in on next year?
Yeah. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, I'm excited to see it, honestly. I don't know. I can't say I've had talks with him about what is all in and how you plan on making this move. So, but yeah, let's see. I'm excited for it.
How hopeful are you that you can get a deal done?
Say again?
How hopeful are you that you can get a deal done?
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the numbers. I think it's Jerry. I've heard Jerry said that. Tad happened over here and told me that part, right? That that is a process. Both sides understand that. Everything's great. I know it happens. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay, so Melvin Goldman says, I would go all in this year with Dak and Mike McCarthy, and if they don't do at least make it to the division round, then they're both out of here. Well, here's the problem, though, Melvin, is the only way you can go all in is really doing Dak Prescott's contract. You can, and here's the problem. Okay, so we have Russell Wilson today. They basically have made him a June 1st cut. Russell Wilson, who signed a $240 million contract. Now, here's the thing I want to point out to you guys. I want to say this, okay, for the Derek Barnetts, okay? For the Derek Barnetts out there of the world, for all of the people out there that say that Dak can't do it. Let me get some extra fodder. I can't remember what it is. Here's the thing. We will go through and we will say that Russell Wilson was a great quarterback. He won the Super Bowl. They were incredible and things, right? The funny thing, here's the funny thing, okay? When they won the Super Bowl, Russell Wilson had a 63.1 win percentage, okay? 63.1, completion percentage, 3,357 yards, 26 TDs, 9 interceptions, and had a 101 rating. Right? Here's what's crazy. I want you to listen to me for a second. We are told Russell Wilson sucks ass. It's the worst trade ever, right? Worst trade ever. He stinks. And here's what's funny. The Super Bowl year, he had a 63.1% completion percentage, right? This year he had a 66.4. It's a better completion percentage. That Super Bowl year he had 3,357 yards. This year he was down by 280. 3,770. Okay. Not outstanding or anything. 26 TDs he had. The exact same number he had this year. He had 9 interceptions that year versus 8 this year. His rating was 101 versus 98. There's not a major difference between those 2 years for Russell Wilson. I know. So what? Shut up, Charles. Charles, shut up. Did I tell you?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I don't remember you asking you a damn thing, Charles. Shit. I'm serious. So literally, the Super Bowl Russell Wilson versus the Russell Wilson that just got run out of Denver has identical numbers. Identical. Shout out to my cousin Benny. You know what the difference is? Here's the difference. When he played for Seattle, he had beast mode, who rushed for 1,380 yards. 1,380 yards. He had a defense that was number one in scoring defense, number one in yardage defense, and number one in taking the football away. They could control the clock. They could be balanced. They didn't rely on Russell Wilson having to throw the ball and get 40 TDs. Because what's funny is, here's the thing that's so funny about all this. When you look at some of the years when they say, greatest year of Russell Wilson's career, he had 68.8% completion percentage, 4,200 yards, 40 TDs, and only 13 interceptions, and a 105 rating. But guess what? They didn't win Super Bowls. They were ass. The difference between Russell Wilson winning the Super Bowl versus not winning the Super Bowl is he ain't got that running game. He didn't have that running game anymore after Beast Mode retired. He didn't have that defense that would save their ass when they had a turnover or would give them the ball with short fields. They didn't have the running game that could be pounding it out where the defenses had to put 8 men in the box to stop it. In which case, then, you got easier throws because you got one-on-one coverage with your receivers. When you don't have a running game, then that means you've got more defensive backs out there that are going to be able to play zone or double cover people. And when you have people that are covered better, it's harder to make completions when you're one-dimensional. It's true. You can't say, as much as I hate Aaron frickin' Rodgers, and as great as he has played, and the plays, especially against the Cowboys, and the plays that he does that nobody else can do, he still only won one Super Bowl. So clearly, if it's only just the quarterback that does the do, that wins, as lovely Linda points out here, she says she's still waiting for the guy who has no team around him that's winning playoff games and Super Bowls. That's got nobody. I don't care. Derek, Derek, enough is enough, man.
These motherfucking snakes
on
this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some fucking windows.
You know what, DJ? You are 100% right, because Craig Morton, great way to point out that Dan Orlowski's an idiot. Dan, you're lousy. You're right, because Craig Morton and Roger Staubach, crazy as it is, Tom Landry couldn't make the decision because he had Craig Morton, who took him to the Super Bowl against the Colts and lost. And then he had this young gun that liked to run the football that was a little more unconventional. He wanted to stick with the guy who could control and make sure that he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. But Roger Staubach was making things happen. And he literally, in one game, every series alternated the two of them. And it was a disaster. And they got rid of Craig Morton. And Craig Morton played for the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl against Roger Staubach. So, yes, there you go. Shout out to you on that one, because you are 100% right. I forgot about Craig Morton there. I keep hoping and hoping, but I've lost all hope. Yeah, Derek, but, here's the funny thing is everybody acts like if Dak doesn't get signed, let me make sure I phrase this correctly. People act like the Cowboys are doing Dak Prescott a favor, that he's like, Merry Little Sisters of the Poor, that if they don't give him a contract, that he won't have a job, that he will be unemployed, that Dak Prescott needs the Dallas Cowboys. Bro, there are teams out there that will give up their left nut for Dak Prescott and would pay him anything that they want. The fact that Kirk Cousins, this is how crazy it is. Kirk Cousins, who everybody trashes and says he's a bum and everything else, you hear that Atlanta's ready to break the bank to bring him in, coming off an Achilles tear. Kirk Cousins. There's a market for Kirk Cousins. Baker Mayfield, he going to get paid for staying in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield. That lets you know there's not a lot of quarterbacks out there. Mark, please don't shock, man. You don't need that. Don't shook, man. What? Great tonight, Vinny Hogan. What's up, Matt? How are you doing? Take away the 4 games against the Commanders and the Giants, and you see how trash this defense was. Well, yeah, true, Derek. Randy. Oh, my God. It's Randy. Shout out to this return of the Mac. What's up, Randy? I've missed you, buddy. I hope all is well with you and your family and all that. Tell your wife I said hello. How are you? And yes, Jerry Jones, you hit the nail on the head. And you know what? I actually owe you, Randy, an apology. I owe you an apology because the last time we saw each other was the draft last year. And I was so excited that the Cowboys, I thought for once that the Cowboys actually understood something. They understood that they need to stop the run. And I thought that Mozzie Smith was going to do something other than lose 40 pounds. And you were literally detested, and I was like, come on, man. Hey, listen, we got a defensive tackle. I'm not worthy, bro. I'm not worthy. I was 100% wrong
Football for this morning,
on that one. I was wrong on that one. And here is the problem, because Randy just pointed it out. Listen to our fearless leader. And ask me if you have heard this before. Oh, here we go.
I think you guys have a culture problem. It's what's keeping you back from playing in January.
What is culture? I'm asking, I really won't hear your definition of what culture is. I really can't say. When I look at our team, we need to be able to stop the run better, and we need to be able to run the ball better. If that's culture, then we got a problem.
So you don't see a sense of entitlement or anything like that?
No. No. With players.
Yes, with players.
Yeah. No, not at all.
I think you guys have a...
Okay. So there you have it. He at least knows what the problem is as far as on the field is we can't run the football, and we haven't been able to stop the run. You keep missing the point I keep telling you, Mark. The point is the team is poorly built and can't continue to play players who are basically average at top dollar. Well, you know, and here's what I actually, Derek, I will agree with you on that, because I will say part of the problem of us not being able to pay players is because they screw the pooch. I want you to understand something. Okay, let's think. Let's just humor me for a second here. Just humor me for a second. They decided that they had philosophical differences with Amari Cooper, a really good player that you had under contract at $21 million. You decided we're going to move on from said player, and you end up taking on $12 million in dead money just to say, I'm done with this guy. Right? To compound it, you decide $7 million is too much for Cedric Wilson, who was, one of your better receivers, your number 3 receiver. And you decide that you're going to spend $13 million a year on a guy who had his second year, 1,100 yards, and you thought, okay, this guy's going to be great, who dropped to 885, who dropped to 480, 455. And at 455 is when you signed him to a new deal that was going to pay him 13. When you see a player start to go off on a cliff and start to have injuries, that doesn't say, let me pay him like a top 10 receiver. Now, here's the problem. You've gotten less than 900 yards in the last 2 years of paying him $26 million on the cap. You will take said player if you decide to move on, because at the moment, you're still talking about, we don't know if we're going to move on. If you don't move on, you will have $13 million this year on the cap, and you'll be revisiting the same $13 million next year. So, cutting said player that you spent $39 million for and have $900 worth of production means, and this is what they're trying to sell you, if we cut Michael Gallup, we're going to save $9 million this year. But then you got the dead money next year. The rest of it. You can pay me now or you can pay me later. You can pay all $13 million this year, or you can pay it over 2 years. That's what happened with Russell Wilson. They owe Russell Wilson $85 million. They're going to make it a June 1st cut. Either they take 35 of it this year or they take 53 of it. The reverse of that will be the following year. So over 2 years, they're going to pay $85 million in dead money. But here's the thing. We're still paying Zeke Elliott this year, bro. Is that Dak Prescott's fault? Is that the player's fault that they gave Zeke Elliott a contract where it was above and beyond? Because I actually look at this now and say, when it came to Michael Gallup and looking at $13 million of paying him, where Stephen Jones says, we believe in our guys, would they have been better suited in saying, let's sign a free agent for a couple of years? Let's bring in a guy who's not injured. If he doesn't work out, we sign a 2-year deal with, a third year that's a voidable year, whatever. You're only tied up for a couple of years. He's a free agent. He's a hired assassin. You move on. I would think that since you spent $39 million for 2 years, that you probably could have had a pretty good receiver on your roster. Or better yet, you could have kept Amari Cooper and actually saved money. But when you compound getting rid of an La'el Collins that you were paying last year, even though he wasn't on the roster till the end of the year, dead money, we're going to have this year close to $30 million in dead money. So you're right. When you're paying some of the players that we're paying, some of which don't deserve it, I think the problem is the fact that we go through and we say, we can't live without this guy. And when we do, we can't live with him. And that's where you kind of see the Cowboys making these mega deals to try and hold on to all their guys, where you see other teams that are kind of like, I look at the Rams, for example. The Rams went out and they got a whole bunch of hired assassins. We thought they were going to be cap hell for years. They were bad 1 year, they're playoff team the next year. Same thing with Tampa Bay. They got out from underneath of the hired free agent assassins and are now able to do some other things. I sit here and I look and I say the Eagles went all in last year. All in last year. And, Derek, you say we can't sign, as you put it, you keep missing a point. I keep telling you, the point is the team is poorly built and cannot continue to pay players who basically average top dollar. And I agree with you. But I'm sitting here looking and saying, damn, somehow the Eagles went out and signed guys that some of them didn't work out. But somehow they got $50 million more than we do. Clearly, they got better talent on their roster. They should have been doing circles around us. but they know how to work the cap. They know how to, when they have a bad player, turn it into something. They've learned it's better to trade a player while they still have a value instead of holding on to them until they become worthless. That's the problem here. And if any time, Georgia gentlemen, bet the 2. TC on drums. What's up, TC? TC on drums. Got you covered. And Georgia gentlemen. That's the problem. You finally get it. You just said we can't live with this guy. Oh, your quarterback's a different story, though, Derek. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Let's okay. Oh my God. Okay, so how about we do this then, Derek? Let's do it your way, bro. Just cut Dak right now. Cut him today. Cut him. Do like Denver did. Do like Denver did. Cut Dak Prescott. Take the $59 million this year, and take the 36 next year. There you go. There you go. Now, how is that going to help make your team any better? I'm serious. I'm asking for a friend. Because the thing, Bobby Ice, and Bobby Ice, shout out to you. The great John Elway didn't win one until his 15th and 16th year. And guess what? Bobby, you are the man. You know what? Let me make sure. Let me cheer you on. There you go. Bobby Ice. You know why John Elway won those 2 Super Bowls? He finally got a running game. As great as John Elway was, Terrell Davis was what took him over the top. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was finally what helped him win. You have to have a balanced team, and we don't have a balanced team. We didn't have a balanced team. No, we did. We actually had a balanced offense that was incredible. Statistically, Tony Romo's best year was 2014. The only problem was our defense wasn't quite as good because let's go to the stats here, shall we? 2014, Tony Romo was insane. It wasn't that he did anything better than he did before. It was the fact that he ended up having a great running attack. He had his high, well, you can't count the last year of 75 because he only threw 4 passes. But he had a 69.9% completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 34 TDs, and 9 interceptions. And you looked at that 12-3 record. And that, my friends, was the best running game that he had. DeMarco Murray rushing for 1,800 yards. That offense was a juggernaut. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. A running game makes all the difference in the world. And you cannot tell me, you cannot honestly say that anybody worried about our running game. That anybody got in there and said, we got to put 8 men in the box until we stop this thing. Because they didn't. And when you have a first-year starting quarterback literally tell your starting edge rusher, we looked at your linebackers and basically said, we can eat. You had a defensive back at linebacker. We knew we could run the damn football. Come on, man. The thing about it is, you're not really that far. You really are not. You need a couple of studs. Now, I don't know where this idea that we can trade for Hargrave. The Eagles don't want to trade Hargrave in the division. You mentioned everybody except the quarterback that replaces Dak. Still waiting. Oh, me? Oh, I'm still waiting for. Well, people will say Trey Lance. Well, Trey Lance. We got Trey Lance. I know Derek will say Trey Lance era because as soon as we traded for Trey Lance, now we got a real quarterback. I'm being optimistic. I'm just being realistic. The team is not constructed in the correct way. Yes, I agree with you on that to a point. But there's ways. Here's the thing, though. There are ways of getting money if you want to do stuff. There are ways of working around it. It's not that the Cowboys are the only team that have to pay players. It's not. It's not. The problem is they wait till the last damn minute. They wait till the last minute. Mike Evans, he just got paid now. Mike Evans got a 2-year, was it $52 million? They're going to wait and wait and wait on CD, and it's going to cost more money. You're going to wait on Dak Prescott, okay, when you should have done that shit last year. You're going to wait on Micah Parsons till the price goes up. This is on nobody else but the Joneses. The Joneses screwed the pooch, and I'll say it. I don't know where they came up with the contract for Dak Prescott that we can't tag you and we can't trade you. You gave the man everything he wanted. You said you weren't going to bust the bank with the running back. You weren't going to reset the market for the running back market. And here it is, Zeke Elliott, who's not even finished his career, has made the second most amount of money as a running back in the history of football. You don't pay running backs. You don't break the bank for running backs. Sorry. Not after year 4. Parsons will go to the Commanders. It was part of the deal when Quiff left. Okay, trust. Good luck with that one. Okay. Tell the truth, Mark. TC on drums. I am just amazed that everybody still has it in their head watching our defense against the Cardinals that ran roughshod up the middle on them. That the same defense that playing against San Francisco that ran roughshod up on them. This same team against Buffalo running roughshod on them. That we, for some reason, believe that defense, it's a great defense. How many top players do you honestly see on that defense? Or I'll put it the way I like to put it is, how many of the players on our defense could start for our 90s team? Put Trey Lance in the game. He can't do worse than you. Well, he can't. Okay. Well, he can't do worse than me. I can guarantee you that. Quarterbacks on a dice roll, Mark. He can draft Joe Montana in the 4th round. You don't know. You're right. You don't know. But how many Joe Montanas have there been? I'm just saying. A bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. And I would say that the Green Bay Packers had Aaron Rodgers every single year, but they didn't surround him with enough talent to win them. So because Aaron Rodgers was no longer winning Super Bowls, is that the reason that you go ahead and move on? Or do you look at it and say, we need to get more talent around him? As good as people say Brock Purdy is, Brock Purdy has the advantage of having a great team and a great running back behind him. Those things really do matter. No one questions that the defense sucks, okay? That's not the question. Dan Quinn did all kinds of smoke and mirrors on the defense. Okay, then Derek, what is your point then? If the defense sucks, then why are you blaming the quarterback only? Why don't we work on the defense and see if we can get a great defense going? Because I've seen an elder Peyton Manning with 14 interceptions and 9 TDs win a Super Bowl with a great defense. I've seen Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl with a great defense. I've seen Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl with a great defense. I've seen Brad Johnson win a Super Bowl with a great defense. And I'm going to say I'd take Dak Prescott over all those guys right there. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Seriously. I'm asking for a friend. The one negative is just, I looked up, he's enjoyed his hamstring at the Compa. Okay, Lola. They are just trying to sabotage. Most of them are followers of the stalker. Seems like Quinn gave up. It seemed like Quinn had already checked out. Pay Dak, pay CD, act Derrick Henry, get a big defensive player to stop the rush, fix the O-line, all in Cowboys. That would be more my plan, Bobby Ice. Get Dak Prescott's contract, get a low end on there, tie up CeeDee Lamb, and honestly, I would say I wouldn't mind seeing another great wide receiver to go with them. So that way, you need an alpha dog. You need a motivator. You need to get a guy that'll get in people's faces. CeeDee Lamb is a great player, but he needs a foot in his ass. In fact, I'll say everybody in the Cowboys needs an alpha dog to keep a foot in their ass because they get too. I don't. Maybe it's just the nowadays kids these days that just seem to be like, they go into a shell. You need guys that are going to go into the breach, guys that are going to run into danger as opposed to running away from it. And I don't see that too much. We go into a shell. Matt, that's a given right there. Why do you think why would Dak take $45 million? The players you would allow him to take that contract, laugh out loud. Some people don't know anything about football. Too thrilled for life. Trey Lance is on the verge of becoming another Ryan Leaf. Wow. I didn't put it quite that bad, but damn. Now, I will say this about Trey Lance. Ryan Leaf actually had problems getting along with his teammates and stuff. And Trey Lance doesn't quite have that, but I hear what you're saying. A running back I thought was a good fit in big deal. We need a big running back. I would take Josh Jacobs. Well, Josh Jacobs will definitely, I think, cost you more than Derrick Henry. I would take, at this point, Melvin, I'd take either of them. CeeDee Lamb is mentally weak. Well, that's where I don't want to bust his bubble, but he definitely needs, as he put it, he even said it, I need to grow up. And Walker, you are right. We are not going to put the talent around Dak. And when we did have it, we couldn't pull it off. In 2016 and 21, we didn't have the defenses. In 22, we just couldn't get it together in the playoffs. CD has gone too. Well, I think everything, the way I look at it is, everything hinges what kind of season we're going to have is Dak Prescott. If they do Dak Prescott, then maybe we actually see them actually trying to bring in some extra players. If they don't do Dak Prescott's contract, then it's the status quo. We'll get a few bottom tier, old-ass free agents, bring them in, put them together, and, we'll win 10, 11 games, make the playoffs, and choke. Easy answer why you have to pay someone who has earned one of the top 32 jobs available to 330 million people. That's the going rate. Just like a strong mule on a farm. It's blindness. And mind you, for all those out there that say we couldn't build a team because we're paying the quarterback, how come we didn't do it when he was only $680,000 for the first 3 years, or the $2 million? I'm asking for a friend. So if you are all looking and saying Dak is sucking up all the money and that's why we're not winning, you haven't been paying attention. Agrees. Jones don't worry about winning. It's sad. And they are winning. They're winning as far as value of the franchise. They're worth $2 billion more than the next closest team. 21 was the best chance to win, but Dak slid it away. Well, realist fan, I'll also put in there too, Randy Gregory tackled an offensive lineman away too, because maybe had Randy Gregory not tackled an offensive lineman, giving San Francisco a first down, 15 yards, maybe we would have had about 2 more minutes of time, and he wouldn't have had to slide. What has he done? Derek, no wings for you. Jerry Jones is a joke, and he's not going to be anything in the playoffs. What you going to do, brother, is right. Joe Davis, stop being a hater. We have a major culture problem. I would say we have a major Catboy problem. Dak got his first All-Pro designation along with a strong showing in MVP, and you fans want to throw him away. Linda, I wish you were a Cowboy fan, because I'd really enjoy talking to you. Because this shit is crazy. They just think, oh, well, yeah, we can get anybody. I'm surprised that nobody has said, let's get Russell Wilson. Hey, listen, you only have to pay Russell Wilson like the veterans minimum this year, man. Let's get that garbage. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Let's go get Russell Wilson. Cut Dak and get Russell Wilson. People saying the franchise is not built for playoffs anymore. We're built to make it to the playoffs. But what you need when you get to the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football. You got to stop the run. It's not rocket science. Brian, I'm with you. I'm ready to get this thing done. $60 million a year is outrageous for a quarterback. You know what? I remember when they said $40 million a year was outrageous. I'm old enough to remember when they said $30 million a year was outrageous for a quarterback. Oh, wait. I remember when Jimmy G was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Y'all remember that? I remember when Kirk Cousins was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Y'all remember that? Matty Ice, highest paid? Understand, $60 million gets it this year. The next year it's going to be 65 or 70. Just is. It's not that all of a sudden you got the most amount and now everybody else is going to be less. Remember when Deshaun Watson got his deal and it was fully guaranteed and everybody was like, oh my God, he's got like $45 million a year. That's ridiculous. Right now, we'd be happy as shit if we could get him for 45, right? You know that, right? Everyone stop getting on Dak Prescott. He's not going anywhere for those who don't like it. Jump ship. And you know what, Jeffrey? I think people fail to realize the game here. Dak Prescott is honestly the golden goose for the Joneses. Dak Prescott is the lightning bolt that is on everybody's tongue. Every single show is talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. What's amazing, I want you to think about this. Kansas City has won 3 Super Bowls over the last 5 years. New England won 7 with Tom Brady. You had Tampa Bay get bad, get good, win a Super Bowl, get bad, and make it back to the playoffs. You had the Eagles, after 50 some years, finally win one and get back to another one. The Cowboys ain't busted a grape, but guess what? What quarterback are we talking about? Every day. Every day. We up here showing his new goatee is front page news on Bleacher Report. The fact that he just had a baby. He's talking about his contract and how he feels about it. Jerry Jones, well, you know, we're going to try and work this thing out. And if it doesn't, we'll have to go. Everything is about the Cowboys. He's winning. He is winning. You can't go to a sports show And I guarantee you there's not a single sports show on ESPN, Fox Sports News, or NBC that has any other team that they talk about more than the Dallas Cowboys on any given day. And your quarterback is the most controversial one out there. So why would you move on from that? Why would you quietly do a contract and just get it done? You're going to milk this mother humper. You're going to milk this thing and make everybody think, man, they're not going to pay Dak. They're moving on from Dak. Man, they got Trey Lance. He used them for pressure. They're doing all this stuff to make you think that, boom, they're not signing Dak, then all of a sudden, boom! Next thing you know, there's a contract for Dak Prescott. And it starts the cycle all over. Oh, my God, the Cowboys busted the bank. They made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. You can't pay him. It'll start a whole new narrative going into the offseason. Now that Dak Prescott's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, what are the Cowboys going to do? Are they going to go all in? Are they going to bring? It's the whole thing. You got to understand. They are a media conglomerate. They have you hooked like you's a crackhead, living and dying. It's like, come on, man. You got some news on the Cowboys? The Cowboys, they keep calling me, man. They keep calling me. I need my Cowboy fix. Oh, that Dak Prescott, he sucks. I hate Dak Prescott. Yeah. Whether you hate him or you love him, you getting your Cowboy fixed. And that, my friends, is what it's really all about. Is keeping the Cowboys on your tongue. Sad. But winning got nothing to do with doing that. I dare say if the Cowboys won, it might be the worst thing for them being the media thing. Because what are they going to talk about? Oh, Dallas Cowboys. They constantly move the field goal post. If you win the Super Bowl, where are they going to move it? Oh, they got to be a dynasty. They got to win back-to-back. They got powder on the upper lip. I'm serious. Y'all, come on. Y'all know you all Cowboy crackheads. It keeps calling me, man. It keeps calling me. I just want to win a Super Bowl. I just want to see. Come on, man. I just need them to win the Super Bowl. Can a brother just get to the championship round? Come on. I just need my fix. Yeah. It's true. We're consumed by the Cowboys. We're getting high on Jerry Jones' supply. Shout out to Kelsey. Yeah. And I'm glad that Mr. Tush Push is gone. No more pushing in the tush the way they used to. Itchy and scratchy. Yeah. So I know somebody's going to be doing like a video. Oh, Mark Holmes he's jonesing for something. Put the Cowboys in the XFL. XFL would take out the NFL. Okay. All right, good people. I'm tired. I got up this morning. Actually, I left the Red Brick House yesterday, drove over 220 miles to go work on this bathroom. Got that finished today. Drove my ass home through rush hour traffic around the Beltway. Got here and got this show together. And then in the morning, I'll be hitting the road back to the Red Brick House. So I feel like Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah. That's me. I'm a Rolling Stone. I'm just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. No, thank you, Rhonda. And shout out to Rhonda. Rhonda's getting her channel. Hey, there's Gina Dallas Diva. What's up? What's up, Dallas? Gina Dallas Diva. Good Lord. Shout out to all the people out in California that have gotten that blizzard. Oh my God. That's some serious shit. And watch out the firestorm that's going on in Texas. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. So with that being said, let's get ready to rock and roll out of here, and we're going to go back to an oldie but goodie.
Coach of the Year, MVP, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Oh, God, that reminds me. I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Sean Payton, who retired from the Saints after 16 years of coaching. Let's give it up for Sean Payton. Did a great job there. Sean will now return to his true passion, finding a way to take Mike McCarthy's job. So,
I saw some good blocks.
Music playing right now?
Ooh, I don't know about that joke, Eli. I mean, look, we all know Keegan is a pro. He nailed the delivery, but might be too much of a thinker.
A thinker? What? Eli, Peyton, guys, what is happening? Are you doing a Manning cast of the NFL honors?
Oh yeah, ESPN2 has us mic'd up 24/7 now. I haven't gone to the bathroom in 3 days. I'm too shy.
Just pretend we're not here, Keegan. No big deal. Just relax.
Relax. I'm in the middle of hosting a live television show. Okay, all right, I can try. I'll try.
Okay, look, back to that cowboy joke. Eli, what'd you think of it?
Honestly, I felt bad for Dak Prescott in the audience. Can we cut to Dak?
Can we cut to Dak? What, do they have control over the cameras? Sorry, Dak. I'm sorry.
Eli, you're exactly right. I mean, look at Dak. He doesn't know how to react to a Mike McCarthy joke. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Smile? Frown? It's impossible to decide.
That's why I never change my facial expression.
Oh, that's why. That makes sense. That is absolutely brilliant, to tell you the truth. Hey, can we check out that reel of Eli's face not moving?
What? Check out the reel? They're doing... Oh, wow, he never changes his face.
That is good stuff, Eli. I couldn't even tell if you were awake.
That's my brand.
Listen, when we come back, our guest will be Billy Crystal, a man who knows a thing or two about award